Welp, another week went by. It's Friday, and the news is not taking the weekend off. I'm Elliot Bright, and this is the Daily News. August 28th delivered some LGBTQ that keep the pressure on. The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to greenlight the full discharge of transgender service members. A former Georgia Southern University wellness director just settled for $250,000 after saying she was fired for defending chest binders for trans students. Out soccer star Esther González is catching heat for signing with a Saudi team. India's proposed foreign funding law could put LGBTQ plus groups' assets under government control. And Canada's new national monument to the people its own government purged continues to resonate. Let's dig in. We start in Washington, where the Justice Department petitioned the Supreme Court on Friday to let the military fully enforce its ban on transgender troops. The administration wants the High Court to lift a lower court injunction that has been protecting currently serving transgender service members while the larger case plays out. Solicitor General D. John Sauer argued that the military must be able to decide who serves, and that the current block is an unprecedented intervention into military affairs. The ban stems from an executive order signed early in the second Trump term that frames transgender identity as incompatible with service. For the thousands of trans people who have already been serving, and the ones still fighting to stay, this is the latest attempt to turn a temporary policy into permanent exclusion. The justices are expected to decide later this year whether to take the case. In Georgia, accountability finally showed up with a check attached. Gemma Skuraton, former director of student wellness and health promotion at Georgia Southern University, has settled her lawsuit against the University System of Georgia and a university vice president for $250,000. Skuraton alleged she was fired in retaliation after she objected to the school's rejection of a proposal to provide free chest binders to transmasculine students. She also claimed administrators accused her of stirring up student protests. Under the settlement, her termination will be reclassified as a voluntary resignation. The termination letter comes out of her file, and she receives a neutral reference. Her attorney called it a reminder that federal protections for vulnerable students and the people who advocate for them still have teeth. Political tides shift. The Constitution does not always shift with them. In the sports world, openly lesbian soccer star Esther González is facing sharp criticism after signing with a club in Saudi Arabia. Same-sex relationships remain criminalized there, and the move has sparked debate about whether high-profile queer athletes should accept contracts in countries with hostile laws. González and her wife have adjusted their social media presence in the wake of the backlash. Visibility always comes with a cost. Sometimes the cost is a public argument about principle versus paycheck. Overseas, India's parliament is advancing changes to the foreign funding law that could give the government far greater control over non-profit assets. Under the proposed rules, authorities could seize foreign-funded bank accounts and property the moment an organization's registration lapses, with limited immediate court review. For LGBTQ plus groups that rely on international support to operate in a difficult legal and social climate, the bill looks like a direct threat to their ability to keep the lights on and the work going. Finally, Canada's new national monument, Thunderhead, continues to draw attention and reflection. Located near Parliament Hill in Ottawa and funded through the LGBT Purge class action settlement, the monument honors the thousands of LGBTQ plus people who were investigated, harassed, and forced out of the military, RCMP, and public service over decades. The design, a fractured column with mirrored tiles that catch the light like a storm breaking open, is both memorial and statement. It exists because survivors sued their own government and won. That kind of institutional memory matters. That is Friday. The administration is pushing the Supreme Court to clear the path for discharging trans troops. A university advocate who stood up for trans students just collected a six-figure settlement. A queer soccer star is navigating the ethics of playing in Saudi Arabia. India's foreign funding rules could choke LGBTQ plus organizations, and Canada's monument to the purged is still doing the work of remembering. Some days the resistance looks like a lawsuit. Some days it looks like a concrete column full of mirrors. Both count. Thank you for spending this time with the Daily News. I'm Elliot Bright. You enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow, fam.